my gray joint. I hate a thief, yo. Especially when they be trying to steal your shit to do something to you. You know how people like to do shit like that? I hate that shit, yo. I really do. That shit really like moves me left because that shit don't never work. But I've witnessed that so many times. Somebody stole my gray hair wrap, y'all. So I had to put on this crazy loud color. But it's all good. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gotta excuse how I look right now until I get me another one. It is what it is. I ain't even losing no sleep over that. I ain't with the petty shit. But it is what it is. Yeah. Title last night. I don't know if y'all was sitting outside last night. This ain't gonna be a long live neither. This ain't gonna be a long live. I don't know if y'all was sitting outside last night, but yesterday was the 12th, right? It was the 12th, right? Let me see. Yeah, today 13th. It was the 12th. Um, and yesterday morning you had the planetary alignment. It was a perfect alignment, which was dope. And you had the northern side of the planet an eclipse, like the northeastern side, Canada, all that. They can see it. New York can see a piece of it, but it's like way at the top. It was an eclipse. We didn't get a chance to see none of that. If you did see it, you might have saw it like I would say Myrtle Beach area, but you would see like a teeny little piece. It wasn't even a lot, nothing to say you saw something. Um, and then last night was the interesting part for me because they was talking meteor shower, but I sat outside last night and that wasn't no meteor shower. I've seen a meteor shower plenty of times. That was not a meteor shower. And what it was like lightning, yo, but it wasn't no sound. You know, when lightning strikes, you can hear it, like later or whatever. The sky was flashing all night long, the whole sky. And I'm like, that's different. I never seen that before. Almost like if it was a globe, like one of those globes that spark or whatever. It was like that. And I was looking up and I was waiting to hear the sound from the lightning, and there was never no sound from the lightning. You know what I'm saying? It was just the flashes, and I'm like, what the hell is that? You know what I'm saying? So I sat and just watched it for a while, and it just covered the whole sky. And I just kept listening for the lightning or the thunder or whatever, and it never came. Like I sat for like 2 hours, and it just was repeated flashes over the whole sky. And I'm like, that's not a meteor shower. I don't know what that is, but that's not a meteor shower. So, yeah. And I took the time to meditate in that energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, because something said just be still. And that's what I did. You know what I'm saying? I always listen to my first thought. Like, I don't really not follow my first thought. You know what I'm saying? Like, yesterday, another boost of energy came through me with information. Other energy is coming out speaking to the same thing I'm saying on the same wavelength, and I'm watching it synchronicity wise, meaning I can look for something clear across the damn existence and find it over there, and I just said something hours ago, and they're explaining what I'm saying, but they're explaining it in its attribute of where it came from, and I'm like, can't make this shit up. That's how far I've got with gauging if what I'm saying is accurate. Because there's no way in the world somebody else can be repeating what you're saying or explaining what you're saying somewhere clear across the planet, and they don't even know you. So I get a chance to find these things and pay attention to it, time, date, initialization, and all that shit. And I'm like, I see what divine is doing. I really do see what's happening, and I see what people are trying to do. It's gonna be interesting, yo. It's gonna be interesting. And like I said, I ain't gonna hold you. You know what I'm saying? Like I got some shit to do today. Uh, but I will come back later and show you and post and all that. Y'all can be like, oh, that's what's up. So I will do that. But yeah, last night was interesting. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, yo, that was weird. I never seen it happen like that. And it actually gave off a feeling. You know what I'm saying? It gave off some type of feeling. And I honestly wanted to call people and be like, y'all see that? Y'all looking at that right now? Go outside and meditate. I wanted to do that. But then I was like, if I got to do that, then that means it ain't for you. Like, this shit just hit me like that. I was like, yo, divine, that's cold blooded. It's like, yo, shit, you out there. What, ain't nothing stopping you. What's stopping them? I'm like, oh, but I always be in nature though. Like, yeah, there you go. So whatever came through last night was a gift. I think if people didn't pick it up, that's the unfortunate energy. You know what I'm saying? Because it wasn't a regular. It wasn't this. And then what's crazy is I even had the thought earlier that day. I was like, if we not going to see the eclipse, that means the moon is on the other side of where that's shining at over here. So that means if that side is blocking the shine, the rays of light, because it's an eclipse, right? Then the reflection of that is 10 times on this side. It's like, I don't think anybody ever fathomed that. I'm like, yo, that means it's energy being shielded from one side to be shined on one side. Particularly heat is only the friction of the solar ray. The sun is not hot. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's only the friction of it coming through here, or the magnifying situation. Like if I take a magnifying glass and shine it with another light source behind it onto another glass, then that inside that glass is getting a level of heat because the travel or friction of the light through the glass. That's all that is. The sun itself is not hot. You know what I'm saying? The soul energy doesn't have to worry about. And I used to think that too. I used to be like, yo, universe must be cold as hell because the sun is mad hot. But you never think that why would divine create something that would have to have weaknesses in its highest state and form? So the sun doesn't need anything. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It uses its own resource. It is its own resource. It's a solar system, a soul system in itself. So that means within that compacted amount of energy, we're looking at it like a ball. But I really think it's dimensional. That's why sometimes you can see the darkness on the inside, because the soul itself is what it is. It's a solar system. It's another system like ours inside the sun. And the dimensional wall to it is light on the outside. But you can't just get inside there. But they said they've sent things inside of it, right? So I'm like, you're just not paying attention close enough. It is what it is. It's a system inside of a system. It's just, and think about it. If that's inside of this system, if we're circulating that, we are the image of this cyclization, because my system or my physical system is around my soul, which would be the same thing as the universe. But people don't think like that. And I think last night was a representation of that, giving back lineage to the Farushka doll, Babushka doll, right? It's inside, like that. It's, we got rings around us right now that you don't even see with your own eyes. Yeah, because you emit energy. So, and I wanted to add, normally when I close my eyes, I see a whole universe spinning. It's like I'm absorbing the universe. And I've been doing that lately. Like I've been seeing different ones for like over the last 4 or 5 months, 10 months, year and a half, like just different universes being absorbed. The other day, I sat down in the meditation and it wasn't even circling. It was going like this. And I was like, yo, what the hell is that? And it was like it was rocking. Like it was a type of universe that rocked. It didn't go 360 degrees. It was going. I'm like, yo, what the hell is that? And I didn't even question. I just, closed my eyes, meditated on it, let it pass like they always do. But that was different. That's the first time I've ever seen a pattern like that. You know what I'm saying? I understand the metronome, and I guess symbolically or indicative, it was kind of the same. But it just gave off a different energy. And consciousness is the bridge. It's golden. So I got to do this conversation real quick. Damn, I ain't want to go this long. Okay, so my homeboy was talking yesterday, and we was breaking down things. And I was saying, blood is da-da-da-da, this, and the third. And I was like, yo, it's funny how they take the terms and they use them for different purposes. Like they take in the Bible, they say put blood above the door as a covering, right? Or if you watch in Hollywood, you'll see like red with gold trim, right? And you have in the community of California, the Bloods came together to protect their neighborhood hood covering. You have, and this is where it all tied together for me as far as knowing. You have the colloidal molecule, like the molecule colloidally liquefied. Gold is red, very close to blood. Not as thick, but it's red. And when that solidifies, it changes gold color. Our blood is red, and we pull in the sunlight from the solar system as vitamin D and produce melanin, which is really gold. This is why we are shades of brown under the skin. So it started getting real deep to me, and I'm like, wait. The reason why we're suffering because we're not solidified in the covering. That's why they were able to use that in the Bible as a thing, like put blood above the door as a covering. Well, when the molecules of gold solidify and they're no longer liquid, they change the color of gold. We're not solidified as a group, so we haven't changed golden. The gold, consciousness, the connection in between the gold that's literally physically in your blood. You physically have gold in your blood because you absorbed it for the sun. That was the misnomer that the scientists used a long time ago to make people not comprehend that blood was in the sun. Blood was in the earth because it was in the blood veins of people. So then if you knew that, you would know that you're living on a person. You're living on dead bodies. So they would find veins in the earth and break open the veins and take the gold out of it. Right? So as above, so below. It's a babushka doll. Everything is inside. So they knew this, and that's why they had to change it and say, no, gold comes from the sun. And you'll be like, oh, gold comes from the sun. Yeah, okay, I get it. It does, but it only solidifies through the life of you after your body turned to beef jerky. You know what I'm saying? So you don't know this, though. You don't know this. We're just allowing all everything that we're on to be gutted. And you had a story that changed that comprehension to what it was and how it played out for you to allow this to happen. So something that didn't have these minerals that were deep down to the ancient ones that had the original from the start, those minerals still there. That's why they do excavation. No, they do that so they can solidify that shit down to molecules and try to put it back in their body because they were stripped of universal power, yo. Stripped. That's why they are the way they are. They don't have the concept of that comprehension of the golden road, consciousness. So everything towards you is an attack because you have it innately. And if I can come at you sideways, you're going to be more emotionally disturbed by that value because you have the gold of consciousness. The reason you have it inside of you. This is what makes you think. This is what makes you question everything. Literally, that's what makes you do it. Because you're literally the essence of all things. So the synapses of this vibration, it just doesn't hit the universe. It goes through you. You are made of the same material. Otherwise, people wouldn't want to dig it up because they would say, well, what's in the earth is in me. We're just the same. That's when you'll be like innocent, like a kid. We're the same, me and the earth. But nah, you got people that say, no, let's dig the earth up. Let's take everything out of it. Yeah, because they don't have it in it. And that's why they'd be like, ooh, wow, look at this. Otherwise, you would know that that's one and the same, as above, so below. So gold, the red, the sacrifice, that's taking the hood off. The red is not a sacrifice. That's removing you from your stable state. That's what that does. When it's red and they're showing that, they're showing you that the solidification or the covering is now off of you because it's red. You're down into your liquid form. Liquid form. Liquid form. Solidified color. Solidified form. This is when we are protected and covered. That's why they said they wanted to take our goals. Watch how I fuck it up even more. You had goals and aspirations to prosper from divine until that was changed. And then you bled. You bled bad. We bled bad through history. As soon as they changed our goals of living with a war. We were unable to be solidified in our natural right because the goals were changed. We bled. We bled. The original flag is not blue in the middle, it's black and red. And it has diamonds and gold on it. Gold trim. It has all the emeralds on it, and it doesn't blow in the wind. It's hard because it has real stones on it from back in the day. Like, they keep that one. And it's not like a bunch of stars in that circle neither. It's a circle of stars that's in a black box, and it's red and like a tannish color, and it's inlaid in jewelry. Shit is beautiful. It's beautiful. Never seen nothing made like that. So that's why the goal is being hidden, and that's why the goal is being taken. Even understand that your gold is being your covering. They had to make a government for your mind because the gold covering is what allowed you to bleed. You bled because they took your covering and now controlled the fact of you bringing that back. This shit crazy, yo, when you start really comprehending what's going on. And people are running aimlessly around with titles and comprehensions, and they don't even know what the fuck that shit mean. But I can show you it in actuality of how it literally is what it is, despite what you think you know. And I'm going to show you by the deception of the circumstance of how we're living. It's the same process if I was to take that goal and make it into an effing molecule, liquefy it. And I can laugh at you and make movies and say, we'll take the flesh and intravenously liquefy it to feed other things. Ain't that what they said? Wasn't in the Matrix they were sitting in a pink, gooey, reddish kind of liquid? A throw off. The throw off. If you don't know how to put shit together, you ain't gonna put it together because you don't comprehend everything correctly. So the way you're gonna think about it is gonna be based off the tools that they gave you to think about it with. If you only know how to move a screw with this, you're never gonna go get anything else to move that screw with because that's what you learned to use it with. So your comprehension is only based off the level of intelligence that they told you can have. Yeah, shit get ill. But I ain't never been that type of person, yo. Like, I told y'all that. I ain't never been that type of person. Yeah, I heard 2 + 2 = 4, but I don't want to add it like that. I want to add 1 to 3. I want to take 1 from 5. That's what I want to do. My way. Because I can think for my damn self. I don't need you to be over my shoulder telling me what it is, but see, this is how we got here. And then when you and I sit down and we discussing what we learned from where we went, we attack each other. Oh, that ain't what they said. You stupid. You don't know it. Because we all got that fury. We all got that power. That was making them turn us in on each other because under the divine, we all grew in individual rights. That was your confidence. But from another perspective or perception of visuality, them looking at you be a divine being by yourself with all morality locked in by your own choice and still followed the supreme creation and became or started becoming a solar being in the flesh. They couldn't comprehend what that shit was or even knew what it was. So I got to break it. And that's how it got broken. And that's why you don't know it now. And that's why even if you think it, it doesn't land, but you still feel the audacity to be strong in a way that doesn't connect the pieces like Lego blocks because you was happy to do it that way because it was told from divine directly when we knew that. But somebody had to sever that comprehension of level of knowing. So therefore you would never or have the option be able to teach a direct lineage connection. That is what the broken golden road was. That is what the severed road is. That is how the goal is being taken. The gold, that is what was taken. It was your umbilical cord from your connection through your flesh, the knowledge in between the earth and the heavens. Period. The same thing the trees did. The trees do the same thing we do, but in a solidified form. We had trees that grew through dimensions. Grew through dimensions. Grow through. The only thing this other culture can't do is grow through. No, they set it up like a video game on cheat. They set it up like a video game on cheat mode. Yeah, you getting paid this, but I'm going to slide you this here and there. I'm going to make sure y'all good. We're going to make it seem like a struggle. Matter of fact, we're going to paint the picture. And then when we get enough, we're going to take a couple hours and put them in struggle for real so we can actually point to it. Manipulation keeps manipulating because it's based off lies. But you can't lie to me when I know how the system works, because a lie don't go with truth. You can't put the two and two together. I can't take this way the system is working right now that man built and put it and laid on top of the understanding of supreme knowledge and call it accurate. It don't even fit. It doesn't even fit. No formulation of it fits. Not even the story that they tell. It don't fit. Trying to make it fit is us, because you know why? We are imagination. I am a genie. Imagine I am genie, meaning whatever you think, you can bring it to fruition. And if I make you feel it, you're going to create it. So now who's creating the false world for someone else who can't do it for their damn self? Naga. I ain't going to hold y'all. I'm just trying to show you something. I got phone calls to make though. 1,000.